right, so today I'm going to talk about saving your images in Photoshop or from Photoshop and how to turn them in and what these file types represent or mean. All right, so this is my image and we went over layers. You can see I have a background layer, I have my image layer, I have my little icon picture, and then I have some text. So these are my layer files or my layer stack, okay? If I wanted to come back and edit this at a different time and make some changes, let's say I spelled something wrong or incorrectly, I would need to come back and be able to edit this. In order to save it properly, you're going to have to save it as a PSD file. So a PSD file is a layered Photoshop document file that allows you to come back at a different time to make any changes you may need. So to save it, I'm going to go to File, Save As. I am going to save it in my Student U drive in a new folder titled Photoshop Tutorial. And I'm going to give it a name. So this would be Wedding Announcement. And you can see here that it's saving as a file type, Photoshop or PSD. Okay, that's the first option. Then I have a large document format. So say that I had a bunch of layers and my files were huge, it would prompt you to save it as a large document format. Then we have Photoshop PDF. This allows you to save it as a PDF file. Usually this is a document that you can send to a print shop and they can open the layers. It's a little bit smaller than a Photoshop file, but not too much. And then you have the TIFF file, which is a good way to save an image file that you've made adjustments to. All right, but for this one, we're just going to stick with PSD or Photoshop. I'm going to go ahead and hit save and hit OK if you get that prompt. And the next way I'm going to save it is a JPEG. So what a JPEG does, it flattens these layers. It reduces the file size so you cannot come back and edit it later. So I'm going to go ahead and this one you have to export. So you're going to go to File, Export, Export As. Now you could either choose a PNG or a JPEG. JPEG files work really great for photographic images. So we're going to go ahead and choose JPEG. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit export, and it's in my, let's put it in my Student U drive, in my Photoshop tutorials, wedding announcement, and save as file type. Make sure it's a JPEG. I can't change it. There's nothing else to change it to, so I'm going to hit save, and okay. Now I'm going to close this file out. It asks me if I want to make any changes. The only thing I did, I think I clicked on it, so it's going to ask me if I want to save changes. I'm going to hit no because I don't want to save anything. Now I'm going to reopen that file, both of them that I just saved. So I'm going to go to File, Open, locate my Photoshop Tutorials folder. I have two. This first one is the JPEG file. You can tell right here, it says File Type. This one is the Photoshop document. This has the little blue icon, and over here it says Adobe Photoshop. If I extend this over, you can see Photoshop image. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the Photoshop image first. So I'm going to double click, and it opens up my file. My layers are here. I can come back in and modify if I needed to. I can change the text. I can change the color. I can come back and make any kind of changes I needed to. Okay. Now let's go ahead and open up the JPEG file. And all I have is a single layer image that says background. There are no layers to edit, to modify. I'm stuck with what I have. Okay, this is the file that you would send maybe to a client for proofing so they can look it over. You wouldn't send this to a print shop because they typically need, it helps when they have the layered file. So make sure that you are saving your files both in Photoshop document or form and JPEG form. You will be turning both file types into Google Classroom for your work this semester. It's really important that I am able to see your Photoshop layers so I know that you are understanding the concepts that we're learning and you're grasping everything that I'm trying to teach you. And I can see that you can by looking at your layers here. And then I do want to see this. That way it's easier for me to print on the printer, and then I can hang it up around the room or post it on our Instagram site.